Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Stay tuned for a tutorial on how I made this beautiful fall floral lantern centerpiece. Okay, so these are the materials that you'll need to make your fall floral lantern. You'll need floral foam, you'll need floral moss, command strips or any type of double-sided adhesive tape, your favorite floral picks, a small set of fairy lights, and floral wire cutters. Also a pair of scissors and a towel or some type of cloth to capture the mess that this floral moss is going to make. So the first thing that you need to do is secure your floral foam to the bottom of the lantern. Now I've already cut a piece of one of these command strips and placed it on the bottom of the lantern. So you're just going to take the floral foam, place it inside, and just press down firmly. Now some people may choose to use hot glue, but because I want to use this for other occasions, I wanted to use something that I can easily remove. So now we'll get started cutting our floral picks. So most of these floral picks are, all of these floral picks are from Dollar Tree, and most of them are $1.25. This particular one, this bushel, was actually $3. I already used part of it from the previous DIY with the gold lantern. So you get a lot for your buck because I'm going to use the rest of this. I probably won't even use all of it to make this next floral lantern. Now, if you notice, the other floral lantern that I used was gold, but I've decided that I don't need another gold one, so I'm going to do this DIY with this black lantern. So you just take your wire cutters and you kind of measure where you want the flower to reach. Now for me, I want the flower to kind of peek out to the side, and I don't want it to be up towards the top because then you won't be able to see it. So I'm gonna kind of measure, just eyeball it. Now my suggestion is that you always cut it longer than you think you'll need, and then you can always make the adjustment. But if you cut it too short, then you can't adjust it once you've cut it. So I always go longer. Another thing I wanted to point out is some of these flowers from Dollar Tree aren't fluffed out because I guess the way they're shipped. So one hack that I've done in order to fluff the flowers out is to boil some water and then take the flower and dip it down in the boiling pot of water just for a few seconds and pull it up, and then keep it hanging downward and just let it dry facing downward on a paper towel, and that will kind of bring all the petals down and de-wrinkle them. I did not do that with these because I was just being lazy, but I did do that with I thought I had a set that I did it with, but I guess I don't. I wanted to show you guys what it looks like when they have been dipped. I think this is the set right here. So if you look at these are nice and open. They're not really wrinkled. So these I dipped in the hot water and then I just let them dry face down, and they kind of fluffed out. So that's something that you may want to try if you feel like the flowers are too wrinkled. For the sake of this DIY, I'm just going to go ahead and do them as is. So this is a little too long, so I'm going to cut it just a little bit. And then you just stick it down into the floral foam. And then once you have it stuck in there, you can bend it however you want. I want it to stick out a little bit. So I'm just going to bend it outward, and I'm just going to scoot it over just a little bit towards the center. And there you go. So now you have your first floral. So what you want to try to do, well, what I like is to have it, I want the lantern to look like it's overflowing with flowers rather than having the flowers contained in the center. And I also like to have different levels of florals. It just makes it more interesting, and it just gives it a little more dimension to me. So I'm going to use the other part of this same floral pick, and I'm going to use these white flowers. I'm not sure what they're called. I don't know if they're daisies but it has this nice other floral sticking out, which, you know, is another shape. So that's another thing that you want to do when you are arranging florals, is try to find different shapes so that it just makes the arrangement look a little more interesting, different heights. So this one I'm going to stick towards the center and have it sticking out this way. And you can always adjust it to your liking. I'm just going to move this over a little bit more. Hope you guys can see this. Putting my hands up like this so you can see. And then you just keep repeating that. Now I want to put something a little more towards the center and get a different color. So I'm going to use this pretty orange right here. So you just cut. And this one I'm going to kind of stick in the center. And then maybe bend it forward. So now you have different heights going on and different colors. Then I'm going to take one of these yellow leaves and kind of stick that behind it just to kind of fill in the space a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to kind of bring that out a little bit as well, have that sticking out a little bit. And then you can just fill it up according to your preference. I'm going to put one of these maroon flowers maybe towards the side just to balance out the maroon a little bit. So you just kind of eyeball it, measure it. I'm kind of eyeballing it. I want it to fall about maybe about right here. So as you can see, it's different heights, different colors.
Mom, what are you going to do with this?
I'm not going to use that one, pumpkin. And so now that I have gotten all the florals in there that I would like, now you can fill the bottom up with the moss to cover up this white foam, white floral foam. So you just take the moss, and this is the part where having a towel comes in handy so that you don't get this stuff all over your counter or the floor or wherever it is that you decide to have your working area. So you just fill that in. And you just cover up all of the white floral foam until you can't see it anymore. And one thing I actually just remembered that I forgot to do first before I put the moss down there is you want to take your set of fairy lights, and this is a very short string. So you want to make sure you get the small set, the short string for projects like this, because if you get the long string, then you're just going to be wrapping around and around and around. And for those of you who have worked with fairy lights, they can become very cumbersome to work with. They easily tangle. So for small projects like this, you definitely want to get a very small string of lights. So what I should have done was wrap this around the floral arrangement first, so that once I got it wrapped around, I could secure the switch down here in the lantern with another piece of double-sided sticky tape or command strip so that it's hidden. But I'm just going to go ahead and just string it on there. And what you want to do is you want to secure the string to one of the flowers, because as you bring it around the arrangement, it will start to move. So I'm just going to wrap it around this larger flower right here just to secure it. And so now it'll, you know, the string of lights will stay in place as I'm wrapping it around the arrangement. And you don't really have to use any real rhyme or reason because the lights are so thin. You know, they're pretty invisible, and even if someone can see them, it's okay because the string is so thin. But you just take it around a couple of times, and so you have them going all the way around the arrangement. And then once you bring it all the way around that last time, now you're going to want to hide it and secure it. So like I said, I should have done this first. So what I'm going to do is just stick the switch down in between the foam and the inside of the lantern. So now you can't see it. And then you can cover it up with the floral moss. Now, I will say that it can get a little challenging to, you know, having to turn the fairy lights on and off, because you have to kind of put your finger down there. Now, right now it's slipping because I don't have it secure. Or I just thought of it, you could also attach it, well, no, it's too wide. I was going to say you could attach it on the side rather than attaching it on the bottom, and then that might be easier to turn it on and off, but it'll show if you do it like that. So you just stick it down in here, and of course remember to attach it with a command strip or some double-sided tape first before you put the floral moss in. So I'm just going to turn this on. You're probably not going to be able to see it because it's kind of bright in my kitchen, but I'll turn the lights off in a minute. And so now you have your fall floral lantern, and you can always fill in the bottom with some additional decor. I'm going to put a little pumpkin. That was my daughter's idea. Put a little pumpkin, stick a little pumpkin in here in the front, give it more of a fall feel. Maybe just stick that down right in there. You can also add pine cones. You could always add more sunflowers or any kind of small wildflowers that have those fall colors. And there you have it. I'm just gonna turn my light off and see if you guys can see what it looks like with the fairy lights on. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe turn this light off too. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I think it's beautiful. And what I did on my table was to elevate the height of the lantern. I just used one of these bowls. This is also from Dollar Tree. It's just a dessert bowl. I just sat this on top of it. And then I just filled in the space around it with some of these picks. I just cut them off and just stuck them in random directions around the base. And that camouflages this bowl and gives you some height. And that is how I achieve the look on my table, for my tablescape. One thing I also wanted to point out is my table is very small. I live in an apartment, so I don't have a whole lot of space. And right now I have a table that sits two. But don't let that discourage you if you have small pieces of furniture or if you have a smaller living space. You can always make your space work for you, and you can always decorate your space, and it can be beautiful even if it's not a larger piece of furniture or a large living area. You can always make your space festive for the holidays. So don't let that deter you. I will be sharing more videos of how I decorate my space and make it beautiful, make it work for me. So, you know, make your space festive, make it your own. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this DIY, and thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe. If you guys have any hacks that you use for your DIYs, anything that you want to share as far as how you can get the creases and wrinkles out of your florals, or how you hide different aspects of your DIY so that they're not seen, please share in the comments. Please remember to subscribe and hit that like button and turn on your notifications. Thank you so much. Until next time.